fireworks. Being scared tires you out.
Good day.
This morning.
As promised, Brooke. Um, Too much glare from behind me. Sorry. Not really. That don't help. Say good morning to our fishy friends. Seem to be doing good. Hope you make it on, Brooke. Hi, Carmela. I gotta find something to put up behind me to cut back on this glare. Yeah, it's not working either. So, Brooke, I hope you make it on. I'm still like sleepy. I went to bed after 2, and yesterday was a busy day. If you saw the live before this one, but at least everybody had a good time. We got along. Sorry, my hair is such a mess. I just woke up and I haven't brushed my hair or nothing. I was going to sleep 2 more hours, but had to get up to go downstairs to use the bathroom at Maria's because our toilet is clogged. So Chris, I think, has some of the liquid Drano working on it or something to get it unclogged. But so forgive me for being such a zombie and all. Just I'm just tired. I'm trying to wake up. What's this? Kind of at a loss for words. A big problem I have right now as far as the computer here is having somewhere to set it now, because I'm not going to be able to work on my purple and blue butterfly with this on my lap. Let's see, I don't like counts. Whitewashing me. And I don't know if I'm awake enough to start my diamond painting, but I'm going to try. Um, I would have to literally clear everything off of there just to sit that there. Where am I going to put this stuff? Okay. That there. Good. All right, I'm going to just bear with me here. I can't put the footrest down. Got a bunch of stuff to clear off of here. And with nowhere to put it, because there, I guess that'll kind of do. Um, Sorry, guys. All right, let me get situated here. Oh, sorry, I'm still kind of at a loss for words and need my breakfast. I don't know if my teammate order. I'm hoping my teammate order will come today. Because that's got the 5 paintings in it. That I'm going to see just how fast I can crank them out and get them done. So Okay, these are my fours, here's my butterfly, so. Usually. Backup glasses. See, I'm not with it, man. I don't know how long I'll stay on here, Brooke, but my backup glasses. Yeah, I've literally got a tower, as you can see, of colors, or beads, cases. These are pretty for backup glasses. But when I wear them, like right now, I can see myself and I look okay. But I mostly did it magnifies these. Okay, 5. The squares, so I can do them easier. Okay, let's do this. And I try not to peel off too much. There we go. Okay, 5. Yep, 5 are the black. Excuse me. Trying to figure out what ones I want to start with. If I want to alternate the super shiny color like this, which in this one it's number 5, color 5, but it's black. And in here is the sparkly black. So I think I might. Were you at 210? And then what I usually do there is I'll put the 5s back here, the original 5s that go to the diamond painting, and I'll put these in its place. So when I do that color, no, not yet. So when I do the black, it'll be the shiny. I'm gonna do the bottom corner here in this, and then there's an upper corner over here that I'll do in the regular. Because I like the contrast of the extra shiny with the beads that actually come with it, and it saves you on beads too a little bit. So okay, before I do that, get me a. Yeah, I didn't know what to do with them, so it's just some of my empty jars because I was shifting things around and gotta find my glue. Sorry. This glue is new. It's the pretty bright purple. Alright, is that all the jars? Oh, crap, sorry. Whoops. Oh no, come on, don't fight me. There you go. Just getting some extra glue on here. I don't usually talk much when I'm doing this. So that way I can focus on making sure I'm putting the right color in the right square. So you don't see much other than me doing that to get the bead. And that to put it on the square. And of course, sometimes you think you got the bead on there, but you don't. Besides, whenever I'm on here doing this, at least you guys will be able to fast forward to the end, because so you can see what the painting turns out like. One of these paintings, depending on the size and everything, it can take up to 5 days just to get one completed. So that's a bit of a challenge. But I like, most of the time, doing one bead at a time. I haven't used I call it the scrapey tool, but it's really not. It's kind of wide, and you're meant to put it, to stab it down into a big strip of the glue. And then if you have a big enough tray, which I would probably have to use my purple tray for this, you stick it down into the color of beads, and then you can put like several beads on at once. So I might do that at some point. Right now, some of these, because the extra shiny ones, they can be a little more difficult, it seems, to pick up. And each time I get a segment done, however much I work on it during the live, I'll try to show you guys, okay, this is how far I've gotten. So you can go on this journey with me of doing diamond painting. one side. Sometimes the beads don't want to pick up at all. I like taking my time. If diamond paintings teach you one thing, it's patience. Not having the best of luck with this particular bead wand, though, because it has a tendency to pull the whole little bead of glue out, and then it's on top of one of the beads that I just put on the canvas, so that it don't right. I don't like when it does that. So happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope everybody had a good time with friends and family, and we had a nice cookout at Mom's, which I'm sorry I didn't feel up to live streaming, but it's an awful lot to carry when you're carrying 2 bead cases, even if it's the single ones, because the double ones obviously are going to be much thicker because there's a whole nother layer of diamonds underneath. Okay, I have to keep. Okay, that's it. I'm going to use one of my other ones. Okay. Whoops. No, that's my forest. That's going to stay. This particular kit, the purple kit, it's a purple single bead kit. You get the jars, you get these guys. I got 4 of these. And see this on the end? That's what you can stab into the glue, stab it into a bunch of your beads, put a bunch of them down at one time. Now, if you're doing a row where, okay, yeah, it's the same beads all the way across, you can do that. But if it's like 3 of one color and then 1 or 2 of another, you can't do that on, you know what I mean? It's like you can't put individual beads on these, so I don't use these much. But here's the, for those of you that don't know, some of the standard pieces that you get with a, see, now imagine how many beads you could fit on the end of that. Stab it into a big strip of glue, stab it into a big row of beads, and bam, you could put that many on at one time, which some people like. It's quicker, you can certainly get your painting done faster, but I'm of the mindset I rather like taking my time and showing people that watch this live later, maybe, that why it's so difficult for me to use that multi-tool where you can pick up several at once. Okay. Now let me check, are there any more 5s? in this row. Yep. No more fives. Color 310 here. Now, an ideal setup would be, if you're going to do these bead paintings, hang on, let me make sure there's no more ones. That's what I mean. Sometimes you're doing a row and you get one bead of one color for like the entire row. But what I was trying to get at is, when you have enough of these trays, if you have like a whole card table set up, which I do down on Maria's, she uses it to do her diamond paintings all the time. She can go in, shut the door, not have the cats bugging her, and do her painting. But I'll go across whatever the first number is on the end. I'll go across that whole row and say, okay, how many beads for that whole row? Then I'll get that amount of beads, get them in there. Then I'll go to the next square. Okay, this is the different color. Okay, how many of those across? So like right now I've got a bunch of K's, which is color 16. Which is dark blue. And when they're sporadic through the row, the K's, I have to really look to make sure I don't miss any, and sometimes I still do. So then, if I don't know count-wise, okay, there's this many of them or whatever, then I'll just dump a bunch in the tray, do as many of them as I can. I do this to shake the beads. You want them, what I call dome side up. You want them bubble side up, because whether they're square or round, these beads, the bottom side is flat, the top side is the dome side or bubble side. So you got to do it bubble side up, otherwise it don't look right. Which Maria found out the first time she did a painting, which was a mama mouse and a baby mouse. Both of the mice are pure white, but they had some pink, like in the ears and stuff. It was a real simple one. It was a good first one. A beginner one for Maria, because it's more simplified, meaning a child of a certain age, if they were monitored while it was going on, because these beads are really tiny, so I would be very careful about how young you let them do these diamond paintings. Now, they do have special diamond paintings for kids. Just in the search window on Amazon, punch in diamond painting kits for kids, like if you want to say 6 and under or something or another, just kids, period. And then it'll bring some up, and those are a lot safer because the beads are bigger. But still, I wouldn't leave them unsupervised until you know for absolute certainty that they're not going to start chucking a bunch of these beads in their mouth or up their nose or some crazy shit like kids do. But I like taking my time. I like doing it one bead at a time, so people out there watching can tell. No, I literally watched her do one bead at a time. And she started this painting on the 4th, and it's now the 12th. I've had paintings that have literally taken me 5 days to do, because can't just get up in the morning get breakfast in me, feed the fish, try to wake up, and among it all, try to do a diamond painting right away when I first get up. So, easier said than done, but if you do it from pretty much sun up to sundown, yeah, you'll get a lot more done. But then you're not getting household stuff done. You're not getting groceries done. You're not getting the kids minded, and managed and all. And I know that Maria's going to ask this, Brooke. So whenever you see this, hun, please let me know. I'm sure you will. You're pretty good about, letting us know when our package is getting closer or if it's still in the UK or what. Um, but yeah, we're definitely getting anxious to get our orders from you. Okay, any more K's? Nope, that's all the K's for this row anyway. And then I always tap the beads down a little bit, and then I take my finger and I very gently push them to what I call the funnel end. Once I get them all in the tip here, I open the lid. And you can squeeze it, and then it dumps it in there so you don't lose any all over the floor. And believe me, I have flipped so many trays of beads already, it's not even funny. Okay, next color up is F, which is color 12. It's a brighter blue. That's another thing I like is all the contrast of the various shades of blues and purples and blacks, and it's part of the fun of it for me. And I'm working on an enchanted fairy forest at Mom's, and she loves it. She loves it. So I leave that painting over at her place. So rather it's me going over by myself to spend the day with my mom, keep her company, take care of her, keep her fed, while Jim's out running all over God's creation, and making her feel like ignored, forgotten, neglected, unimportant. I mean, sometimes he'll take her with him when he goes out to, run some errands or something or another. Um, but most of the time, she's just there by herself. And so that puts the pressure on me and Chris to, like, some of the time Chris will go with me, other times he won't. He'll stay here because he's got stuff here he's trying to get caught up on. Understandable. What?
Kalika.
She doing cute kitty poses again?
Not really, but she's underneath the chair, the back side of the chair.
Oh boy.
Here by the stereo.
Silly cat. When the cats first noticed the fish, I had Sedna, which is this one right here. She's my little female beta. You can't see her, but I can see her. I had her in a special little beta kit, one that's shaped like a puzzle piece. I had her in there by herself. Or no, actually, that was my orange goldfish. No. Yes, it started out, I had one small orange goldfish about the size of the tetra in here swimming around. Maybe slightly a little bit smaller. Okay, where's my toothpicks? Toothpicks. Hello. Another random here for you. These trays get hot. I mean, sometimes you have it sitting on your leg, it starts getting warm. I know this isn't the most attractive thing to be doing on a live stream, but I got to get some junk out of my cheek here. Hang on. Hey, Carmela. Oh, I hate when I get stuff on crud on my teeth, I call it. But anyway, so the first of our cats that noticed Sedna, the first goldfish I had before I even got my beta, I had the goldfish. I was going to get a goldfish bowl. And then I ended up getting this little beta kit because it's a little beta tank. And I didn't look at it well enough to determine that it had an opening in the middle of it. The lid wasn't completely closed, like me and Maria seemed to think, because we didn't take the time to really observe and look at the box and see, okay, it has this cutout section in the middle. You can lift that whole square up to like change the water and this and that. There's a little area in the top. You can put like an air stone down in there and everything. So anyway, I got Sedna sitting over there in the tank. I got the tank in the stereo stand because the cats can see it, but they can't get to it because it's behind glass. Because the beta tank itself is just plastic. It's a plastic plain square, I had the chair that you always sit on, Brooke. I had it sitting here in front of my little resin table over there that I use a lot of times for my diamond paintings. The only problem is I can't have the footrest up when I'm doing the diamond paintings that way. And that table is so rickety and wobbly. I'm afraid, because I've put a lot of weight on it before. Unnecessary stuff I had there. And, I didn't want a chance it falling and crashing to the floor and breaking and, glass go flying. So I had the chair sitting facing that way, right up against the resin table. And was curious, to see which one of our cats was going to notice it first. It was Carmela. She, because my goldfish was bright orange. Carmela was sitting in that chair, and all of a sudden she saw movement. So she snapped her head over there, and then she saw the fish swimming around because the light was hitting her, making her even more stand out, shimmering against the sunlight and everything. And then next thing you know, Carmela watched her that way for a while. Then she jumped down off the chair, literally walked over to the stereo stand, stood on her hind legs, and started pawing at the glass, trying to get in. It was adorable. But yeah, each one of our cats' reaction was really cute and typical, for a cat, because, let's face it, fish are a staple diet for them, especially if they're out in the wild and they don't have a loving home and family and all that. So our babies, of course, as you know, do have a loving home, and the only one of them that goes outside ever really is Bella, but only under certain conditions and circumstances that Daddy will allow because of the crazy gets around here, to use a British phrase or lingo. They just was it a week? Like a whole week, roughly, before the 4th of July was anywhere. Jerks around here. I don't know what street they live on. I think they live one street over that way. And like a whole week before we were still in the month of June. We were nowhere near July. they start setting off personal fireworks. And Bella starts hiding. Sometimes his idea of hiding is laying on the floor here close to me and Daddy. Other times he'll be laying in a certain spot and that he feels the safest. He doesn't like thunderstorms anymore. He doesn't like thunder and lightning. He runs and hides, but he's still in plain view. So it's a different version of hiding, but we call it hiding because he feels safer in that location. So these jerks are letting these freaking fireworks off, scaring our pets. And Kalika, every time she hears the fireworks, the personal ones going off, she starts growling at them because, they don't like it. It hurts their ears. And we're thinking now that very possibly one of the times, or maybe even more than one of the times, that Bella was out during the day. Because like Daddy, sometimes weather permitting, if it's not too hot out, like today's pretty bad. It's pretty hot. It's I think he said Chris was out there earlier and he said it was like 80 something already, 80 degrees. I'm like, damn. So yeah, this is a stay indoors day if you can help it. And here in a little bit, I will call my mom and say, Mom, sorry, but I need a day off. It's too hot out. I'm not coming over. This, running solid since the 28th, it's got to stop because it's too much, I'm too wiped out from it. Next color up, G, which is color 13. And that one is yet another striking color of blue. So apparently Chris thought that, and it was cute when I watched it myself, he did a short video, Brooke, of Bella's reaction to the fish. Now that we've got, especially now that we've got 7 of them in there, we got 3 frogs, 2 goldfish, a pretty bright orange tetra, and then my beta. So Bella was typically, trying to paw at it, trying to get the fish. And he videotaped it and sent it to me, and I was like, oh, that's cute. And he called it, Bella's discovery of the fish. But now, like earlier this morning, when I got up and for the brief time that Kalika was on my lap, before she got down and decided she was going to go sleep somewhere else because she had a little bit of time on Mommy's lap finally, she was just looking at the fish like, what? She's already adjusted to the fact that they're here. They're only meant for looking at, not for them to play with. But yeah, me and Daddy have to take care of them. We have to feed them, keep the water levels good for them, keep the pH low and the ammonia low as possible, because the 3 aquatic frogs and the 2 goldfish that we have in this tank all excrete, at least with the frogs, we know it's 50% of ammonia off of their skin. It just, and it tends to be too much for some of the other fish, which are sensitive to it, and then they just keep dying. And so, this was Maria, the trouble she was having with hers. And then she finally decided herself, and I'm glad she did. She's like, I don't want any more of these guys dying. Can I put them up here in your tank? Yeah, sure, hon, no problem. And whatever day here in the next day or so.
Squeaky butt quit.
That I try to go. Yeah, Carmela's being a brat. She's bugging Boo again, I think.
Come on.
Carmela, leave Boo alone.
There you go, Boo.
They're getting along with the mix that we have, but once I get this dead one turned in and get a replacement for it, we'll have 8 fish in this tank, and it's a 10-gallon, so we ain't putting no more than that. And that's why also we try to make sure that all the fish are female and they're interspecies, they're different species, so they're not going to try to mate with each other. Sedna, I think maybe the reason why she's possibly nipping at the others, like even the frogs and stuff sometimes, is she's the smallest fish in the tank. And that may be too intimidating to her. because betas have a certain amount of territorial, thing that they like to do. Like, this tank's mine, bitches. No, it's not. You got to share it with the others. She tries to be the boss of the tank because she feels insecure, possibly because she's the smallest fish. Like, she's only like that big, not very big. And Vicky, if whenever you watch this, happy 4th. I hope you had a good one with your family and did something fun together. Let's see, we just did a cookout, number 10, which is color C. Another shade of blue, no surprise there, huh? This one only need one bead. Alicia came, my brother was there. So it was me, Mom, Jim, Chris, Carl, and Alicia, and Maria. She was there too. And me and Maria, when I wasn't like outside visiting with Carl or anything, I was inside, doing my diamond painting. Okay, number 8. Ooh, we get some pretty purple. But because Alicia and Natasha, their colors, signature colors, are blue and purple, the Capricorn diamond painting that I gave Alicia last night, that she literally watched me complete because I only had a tiny little square left. And I said, I'll tell you what. I said, this I had originally made for myself, but if you stay here long enough for me to finish completely this little corner section, it's yours. And she's like, really? She's like, oh, okay. Thanks, Mom. So when I got it done, I said, here you go. I signed the back of it with a Sharpie and gave it to her. I said, keep it flat. When you get home, lay it on something flat. Lay it on a surface, preferably. Don't set anything on top of it, because I know from experience it will it can cause the beads to get scraped off the canvas if you set stuff on it, because the glue or whatever it is that they spray these canvas pieces with, I imagine they probably do the colors first, then they do the sticky layer, so that you use the glue to pick it up, the bead up, dome side up, and then you put flat side down on the little squares. Okay, is that row? Yep. And because these heat or light trays can get hot, they will start melting your glue. So you got to be careful there too. And then that causes the beads, they're not on there very secure, because the heat from the light it's loosening the glue and making it more like a gelatinized, form. Okay, I gotta switch this again. I gotta switch it from side to side, so because this painting is so long. Okay. Come on. And I don't like it when the paintings come rolled up like this one did, because it causes all these creases. So when you do the bead, what I try to do is I will pull the bottom taut and then get the bead on there, and then I'll release it, and it seems to stick it on there the best. So, but as far as the fish, try to feed them twice a day, but no more than 3 times a day, because our 2 goldfish that I have named Aphrodite and Venus, I also call them Miss Piggy 1 and Miss Piggy 2, because they are little gluttons. Any food you put in the tank, it's like if the other fish don't eat right away, the goldfish eat it all. But because the goldfish and the frogs combined with what we have in the tank right now, there's 250% possibly of ammonia in the water. So we have to put extra ammonia, that we have to put extra, Chris puts extra chemicals in to help balance it out. Because I didn't know that goldfish and aquatic frogs, because I've never owned aquatic frogs before now, I didn't know that ammonia secretes off their skin natural. So yeah, you got to balance it out if you're gonna have, like we do, several different types of fish in one tank. So in essence, a mixed tank. But you also have to put fish together that are the most likely to get along with the other fish. Okay. Try to stretch this out. The canvas in the bottom. Dang it. Just don't seem to be having much luck with getting the beads to stay on the wand. Come on. And I tend to be heavy-handed too. I've noticed about myself, so sometimes I press too hard to get the bead on the tip of the wand, and then it can't pick it up because I'm pressing too hard. And sometimes these little channels that you don't see inside these trays, they're lines, and they're also columns. So you can literally have like several columns of beads just in each line. And sometimes I slide them down, like if a bead's in the back, put the wand on it and I gently slide it down the channel, down the line. And you've got to be careful where you put your fingers too, because whatever they spray this canvas with, once they get the color on there, it's designed to make it easy to, oh, seriously, come on. Why am I having so much bad luck with the bead wands today? Daggone it. Just not having any luck. That might be Brooke. That might be you saying, hey, Mom, I'll try to pop on in a bit. Getting the boys sorted, because I don't know if 4th of July is one of the holidays that the UK celebrates or not. We have several around here. We have the main one, which you'll hear people refer to it as Red, White, and Boom. It's always downtown Columbus every year on the 3rd. of the month. And people come from like all over the place to just to come to the red, white, and boom. Then there's the Whitehall fireworks. And the only thing with those, because of where we live right now, is you have to be outside where you can get a good view of the skies in that direction. And over at Mom's, that's one possibility. We were going to watch them. We were going to watch the Whitehall fireworks and never did. Poor Chris was so exhausted because of everything he did yesterday, because he did all the cooking and everything. Um, he I could just tell when he was ready to go home. And I mean, we were too, because we had been there since like 11 o'clock in the morning. So we were all pretty tired, I guess. I'm going to use this paper as a. Okay, am I getting. Nope, not yet. As an extra layer between me and between my leg and the heat from the tray. So what we ended up doing is once we got home, I just came up, was trying to get some more of my diamond painting done because I just started this butterfly like I think it was yesterday, day before, or something like that, because I didn't want Alicia to know that I was working on another one for her and Tosh. Okay, where did I put them? So I didn't, take the butterfly over to Mom's. I took my what I call Green Man Fairyland, my enchanted forest painting that I leave over at Mom's, so that all I have to do is take my beads over, and I can work on it, and then it gives Mom the enjoyment of watching me work on it, and when it's done, because I know she likes it so much, I'll probably end up doing that one again um, at some point in the future and give it to her, but it's like, sorry, Mom, but I'm keeping this first one to myself because I already gave my first Capricorn away to my daughter. But, I wanted her to have it. Some of the modifications that I did was taking some of the filler beads, which are the extra super shiny ones, and doing a combination of blue, purple, and stuff throughout the painting in key areas that I felt like, I think I want to put this color here, but still trying to stay as close to the original color beads as I could, within reason. Um, so I was sitting here after we got home. I was ready to settle in for the night, not have to go anywhere else or do anything. And, I certainly wasn't planning on going down to Maria's. But then she tried to call me. My phone was on charge, so I couldn't answer the phone because Kalika was also, I think, in my lap at the time that my phone was charging, and I was tired, and I didn't feel like answering because I figured, well, if it's serious enough, she'll come upstairs and say, hey, Janet, could you help me with this or whatever? And so she knocks on the door and says, hey, I need you to come downstairs. I'm like, why? She said, Robert's down there. Oh, okay. Because I had asked Robert about something. Um, and he said, yeah, no problem, that he could get for me. And I was quoting a price for Carl in case he couldn't get the stuff, the things that he was looking for through his source. Robert was a backup. So um, I ended up sitting down there and watching the fireworks on Maria's nice big flat screen TV that is actually bigger than in either of ours here. And we turned the lights out and just had a few candles burning, and it was a nice, cool, like chilling atmosphere. And we watched the fireworks, and then afterwards, I finally came upstairs and decided to call it a night. And then hopefully, right behind me, Robert left because I could tell that Maria had already fallen asleep on the couch because for some of the fireworks she was laying there with her head back like this and her eyes closed, so I knew she was asleep. Because as soon as she got home from work, like Sunday even, she was over here pretty quick. So she came straight from work and she was already exhausted from the day, and so oh, oh, okay, the K's only go. Bella, quit. 5 more K's. Um, Lost my train of thought. Um, been on here a little over an hour. Still waiting. See if maybe Brooke will be able to pop on, but then my indicator bell went off on my phone. I didn't check it to see if it was maybe her saying, "Hey, Mama, I'll pop on in a bit," because I don't know. She might be doing her TikTok shop right now, and that's why she's not here already. Because I was doing this live, because she asked me last night. She said, "When are you going to do another live?" And I said, I'll do one between the hours of 12 noon my time, which would make it like 5 o'clock her time. And I know that, her and the boys I mean, they're still getting settled into the new place. So they don't, I don't know how that's all going. And me and Maria are anxiously awaiting our orders from her, or from you rather, Brooke, sorry. Okay, what color? So they're just the 1C again, number 10. But at least this time, back to the diamond paintings. After Maria did the mouse, she did that one really good because, like I said, that one I think was more designed for a beginner's one. So you didn't have as much surface area that you had to put the beads on, only the mice themselves. And that one she didn't do so good. She put half the beads on the wrong way to where it was flat side up and bubble side down, and it just, because she was just doing it for the first time, she was just learning it, so you can't expect to just snap your fingers and know how to do something like that. Some people do have that advantage, some of us don't. Okay, number 23, another shade of blue, of course. There's only one. Yep, there ain't any other letter T's and stuff. What's that one? Oh, I think that's a D. Okay. But when Maria, the second diamond painting that she did was this very one that I'm working on now. And she did it very badly. It's, oh crap, come here, glue. It's easier for her because of her handicap, because of her condition with, the stroke and what it did to her and everything. She's limited as far as certain things that she can do and can't do. So I tried to the best of my ability explaining to her several times. You have to look at the middle number on the color guide and see what that number is. Then you go to the left column, see what number color that is. So like if you see a 1, then you go and say, okay, this is color 1, and then that's the color you use for that spot. So, okay, got the T on there, or no, is it still on the... Okay. F, which is number 12. So I didn't want to, say anything because I didn't want to hurt her feelings or anything because, I know she did do her best. But she did the butterflies so badly that the area that they use like a black color to define the wings, she didn't have the right colors there, and so you can still tell that it's a butterfly, but it doesn't have the detail that it's supposed to have because she does hers in such a way. She goes by color. And so if she sees the 5s and she, I show her, okay, this is your number 5 color, then she'll just do that number 5 color however far. And then she does it sectionally, which to me, for someone like her, that would make it even more confusing than doing it back and forth like I do, or up and down. So either horizontal or vertical, okay? If you do the vertical, a lot of times, depending on the size of the piece, this is a 35 by 35, but is it that same size when you cut the excess off? I really don't know. I would imagine it, so I don't know if the 35 is the size it is when you cut the excess off, or if it's the size it is with it on. So, I did tell her, I said, I gave her an E for effort. I said, sweetie, and I was being honest too. I said, you can't expect to just learn these things the first time you do one. Sometimes you gotta really take the time to understand that, okay, I need to go by this number, and I also need to go by this number. And there's also a column of numbers on the right that you don't use unless you run out of that color, and then the filler color numbers are on the right. Like 310 is number 5, so it's black. For this particular piece, all the 5s in this piece are black, the color black. So the third painting she ended up doing was that the crescent moon? I think it was the crescent moon that I did. And I ended up doing 2 of that same painting because the day we found out about Margaret's leukemia, Maria was so devastated, not just in general, but thinking of her sister Anna, who Margaret has been a bitch to so many of her family, like all the time. She's a busybody. She sticks her nose where it don't belong. She gets people downright pissed off at her. There's too many people living in that house. They have an upstairs section that some of them live, and then a downstairs section that the others live. Like Anna and Pablo in the place in New York, they're down in the basement. That's where they live. They literally converted the basement into a functional, extra, like, apartment of sorts. And then they would let the kids have the upstairs, meaning Anna's kids and Anna's daughter's kids. Because Bonnie's the only one that has any kids. She's got 3 boys now and 1 girl. And the girl's name is Hope. And then the boys, I forget their names. So Maria was so traumatized, not traumatized maybe, but she was so upset and worried for her sister and worried for her niece that she left her crescent moon painting out one night down there, fell asleep, and the cats got a hold of it. They got the glue on the floor and decided to start eating it. So I hope it didn't poison their stupid butts. And this was all going on while she was asleep. So she had no idea this was going on until she woke up. They scratched a bunch of the beads off the painting. She was going to throw it away. I said, no. I said, no. I said, no, you don't. I said, don't throw it away. I can salvage it. At least let me try. Because she said that they had like a bottom corner or bottom section was, ripped or something like that. I didn't see that anywhere. But her eyes are bad too. So a lot of times she may think that she's seeing something that she's actually not. She does have glasses. They are prescription glasses. And she seems to do pretty good as far as the diamond paintings when she wears them. But, this is a strain on the eyes. So after a while, you do have to, forcefully make yourself take a break. Because, this is another one of those. You can literally do it from sun up to sundown. And an entire day will, go by in the blink of an eye. So Maria was all upset, understandably, because her cats had destroyed her painting. And she didn't think it was salvageable. But I talked her out of it. I said, let me try. And it came out extremely beautiful. I took the opportunity to use some of the colors, some of the filler colors. And the contrast of the two is just, it really does make a difference with these paintings. I think it's just kind of my own unique way of putting my own personal touch in it so that when I do one of these and I give it away to a friend or a loved one as a gift, I sign the back of the canvas with a Sharpie, and I usually sign it by Lady Janelle, a.k.a. Janet Feinstein. I date it, and then I'll do my little Capricorn sign that I do. So on the front of the paintings, when I do the modifications and I use a combination of filler beads and the ones that originally come with this canvas, and it's my way of signing it on the front by making it my own, like, I don't want to put this color here. I'm going to put this color here instead. And it comes out beautifully. So when I got that crescent moon done, I took it over to my mom's. I let her have one of my magnet frames to put it in. And I took the paper backing off of it so that whole side of sticky was exposed, and literally stuck it on the wall and ran my hand up and down it a couple times to make sure it was all on there. No air bubbles. It was on there good. And now, because of how many of these paintings I've done in just, let's see, you might as well say roughly about I don't even know if it's been a full month yet. Because I started these last month, or was it in May? Even, I know it was not too far back, but The very first painting I did was my moon painting. I did it because it was witchy. It had a pretty night sky as the background. It had like certain spots that were meant to be stars, so you had to put a white bead on those spots. The full moon was in the center, black sky, diamonds around, a diamond star, like the white star, and then the border was flowers. So I call it my moon garden. And I ended up sticking it on the side of the fridge with the magnets on. That's the part of the magnet frame. And most of the others, I will take the white backing off of it to get the sticky side exposed so I can just stick it up on a wall. But it's nice to have the option of, if you so choose, um, put it on your fridge, you know. Um, but my moon painting, I don't remember how many days that one ended up taking, because if I can work on it nonstop, like if I literally had a room I could go in, and when I'm down at Maria's, the temple room is where we do the paintings, because we can close the door, the cats aren't allowed in there, turn on the air. At least I have to turn on the air. She likes it way too hot for my comfort down there. When she's in the bedroom working on her paintings, she don't even have the air on at all. And to me, that's stupid. You know, she should at least have the fan going or something, because it's just too damn hot in there, and I can't stand it. And she knows that if I'm going to be down there working on a diamond painting, I'm turning the air on. So if she's going to sit in there and continue doing hers with me or whatever, she better put a jacket on or have one handy, because I'm not going to sit in a hot ass room. I can do that up here. I would rather sit in a room, an air conditioned room, behind a closed door, so my cats can't bother me, so I can do my paintings in peace, which gives me a lot more time to get one done so that I can see about, getting it sold. Oh, goodness sakes. Okay. We're back to the fives, which is my 3 10s here. So yeah, if you ever decide to get into the diamond paintings yourself, be prepared, because there's a lot of accessories that you should invest in if you really want to be able to do them and do them right. You know, do them well. Um, if you don't have a lot of time, a lot of free time like I do right now, to do a diamond painting to completion, because, life's busy, and sometimes we're all running around trying to get a million things done in a single day. And we're lucky if we get a handful of things done. And then, see, now this one's doing it. Okay, now what is up? I may have to go back to, I think it's this new glue, because it's sticking on the beads and the whole thing's coming out when I put a bead on the canvas. um, you can get away with, and I say get away with because if you want to just go the simple route of even so little as one single bead case, that's fine. You only get 60 jars. You get a couple of wands. You get a couple of the green trays. You get a big tray. You get what I call the scrapey tool, where you can put a bunch of them on at once. You do that. You get that, and you get some of the glue. Well, this new glue, I love the fact that it's a pretty bright purple color, but it's not staying in the wands good. It keeps, like put a bead on and then the whole little bead of glue comes out. And then I have to pluck it off the bead and try to get it back in the tip. And that's a shame, too, that this glue is being so difficult. I may have to switch back to my other glue that come with some of my other paintings. So I've been on here an hour and 20 some minutes. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be on here because, let's face it, unless I manage to continually find things engaging to talk about, it's just me sitting here doing a diamond painting, being quiet. Who wants to watch that? That for a lot of people would just be boring and monotonous and a waste of time. So I still got to get me some cereal. Unless I want to go pot pie and do, because I've got some breakfast pot pies up in the freezer. And then I also have some little apple pies. That's also pot pie. The small ones, the standard size, but it's an apple pie. So it has strictly apple in it. So usually when I do one of the breakfast pot pies, I'll do one of the apple pie right after as an additional filler and also as a dessert because the breakfast pot pies don't come with dessert. Of course. So sorry you didn't make it on, Brooke, this time, but I'm trying, hun. Trying to accommodate you and do a live an earlier time of day for me and then 5 hours forward for you. uh, I mean, I don't know, you guys tell me, do you think you would be okay with just watching me sit here quietly doing this, or do you like it better when I try to stay at least somewhat engaging by just verbally talking while I'm doing my painting? Wait until I at least get my fives done here. Then I'm gonna go get me some breakfast. Oops. Okay, any more fives? Don't look like it. Okay. Hopefully here soon. I will, especially if it's a day when Brooke can come on and a time of day for her that she can come on one of my lives. I might do some of my resin pieces again. God. Brooke is one of the indications that went off. I'm on live. Come say hi. And that was 9:41. And it's like 11 my time. And I just wrote to you, Brooke. Hey, sweetie, sorry you missed my live. See you for the next one, hopefully. Love you. Let me know when you see this live. Because the little bell indicator thingy that went off wasn't her. Because I know she, gets busy with stuff at home, too. Getting the boys sorted and maybe trying to determine, can she even run, even do a TikTok shop today. Ooh. But Brooke, honey, just to let you know, after these orders of ours that come, I don't know about Maria, but I'm definitely not going to be able to order any for a while. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate all that you pay out to help with like the postage and stuff. I do, I greatly do. But $338 was a lot. And more than we really had to spend combined. Not that we don't love our stuff that we're getting, because we do. But yeah, it's just to let you know, it's probably going to be a while before we can order again, because I've got my Temu order I'm still waiting on that has the 5 paintings that I'm going to, each one that I make upon completion and getting the sealant on it. That's when I'll start putting those paintings up on my YouTube here and let people know. Once again, if you see one you like, I will try to number each one. So the first one you see me display once I get it done is going to be number 1, and then the second one number 2, and so on. So I'll try to do it that way. If you see one that you like in that 5 sequence, say, oh, I like number 3. How much? $50. How do I get a hold of you? JanetFeinstein@yahoo.com, all lowercase. Hit the like button, hit your bell icon. And hopefully this is something that we can sort of enjoy a little bit together, because if I do the paintings and some of you buy them, great. I would rather them go to friends that are truly going to appreciate them, and the time I take to do them and do them right, one bead at a time, as you saw. I'm not in a rush. So if you like maybe find a certain diamond painting that you would like me to do for you, just get me, drop me a line, text me or something if you have my number, and say, hey, I've got this painting. And it'll be like, okay, well, you have to send it to me. I'll complete it, get it sealed and all that, and then I'll send it back to you in a flat envelope. And just put the money into my PayPal account. Once I verify that the 50 is in the PayPal account, then I will get that painting ready and on its way. So thank you all. Blessed be. See you next live. Hey, Carmela. What you doing, Brat Brat?